Hello everybody and welcome to The Jam, the only Space Jam 2 news source ever. Ever since the first Space Jam came out, there's been talk of a sequel, and we're gonna cover all of it. So let's kick this off from the beginning.
Critics declare adults, kids, teenagers, men, and women will enjoy Space Jam. Michael makes it a winner. He scores. Michael Jordan, Bugs Bunny, Space Jam, rated PG, now playing at a theater near you.
Space Jam is released November 15th, 1996. It received mixed reviews with people praising the blend of animation and live action, especially for the basketball scenes, but everything else was not as highly praised. Like the scene where Michael Jordan gives the Looney Tunes performance-enhancing drugs.
You want to win or not?
However, despite the mixed reception, the film made a ton of money and became a cult classic, so talks of a sequel were inevitable, and talk they did. Discussion for a potential Space Jam 2 began in 1997. Warner Brothers wasn't on board at first until an unnamed producer confirmed that Michael Jordan had signed on to the project. Once the studio knew Jordan would be on board, they began assembling their creative team. Joe Pytka returned as director. Tony Cervone, the animation director, and Spike Brandt, an animator on the first movie and the animation co-director on the sequel, approached Bob Camp, a storyboard artist at Warner Brothers, about doing character designs for Space Jam 2. Camp accepted the job and was tasked with designing the new villain, Berserko, and his henchmen, Oh No and Oh Yes. The script was not completed at the time, so Camp had to work off the little information he was given. Berserko was designed with the intent of being voiced by Mel Brooks, and so talks with his management began. But before he could sign on, remember the producer who said that Michael Jordan was signed on to the film? Well, he was lying, and once Warner Brothers found out their big star wasn't attached to the project, they immediately shut down production on Space Jam 2. But of course, Space Jam 2 would shortly re-enter development in the early 2000s. This time, it would be called Spy Jam, and it would star Jackie Chan. That, of course, was scrapped. It would then re-enter production again, this time called Race Jam, and it would star Jeff Gordon. Joe Pytka also said he pitched a sequel that would star Tiger Woods. What, like Golf Jam? Now this is epic! Obviously, all of these ideas were scrapped in favor of Looney Tunes back in action. Also, January of this year, Tony Hawk tweeted, quote, "In 2003, I was requested to meet with Warner Brothers about doing a film tentatively titled Skate Jam. They were bringing back Looney Tunes with Back in Action, and then wanted to start on my project immediately. A week later, Back in Action bombed, and Skate Jam was shelved forever. And that was that. Space Jam 2 in all its forms were scrapped." Until August 26, 2012, LeBron James was doing a Twitter Q&A when someone asked him if he liked Space Jam, and his response was that he loved Space Jam and would love to do a Space Jam 2. Of course, nothing came of that. Until October 19th, 2013, LeBron James was doing another Twitter Q&A when someone asked him if he was interested in doing a movie like Space Jam, and he responded he thinks about it all the time. Of course, nothing came of that. Kind of. In February 2014, Warner Brothers announced that they were greenlighting a Space Jam 2 with LeBron James in mind as their star. However, according to LeBron's camp, he was never in any discussions with Warner Brothers. LeBron wasn't technically involved in the project until July 2015 when he announced a partnership between his production company, Spring Hill Entertainment, and Warner Brothers. Now, that alone doesn't officially announce that LeBron would be involved in a Space Jam 2, but it can be noted that in June of 2015, Warner Brothers filed new trademarks for Space Jam. Now, that also doesn't officially announce that LeBron would be in Space Jam 2. In fact, it doesn't really say anything new at all. We already knew they were making a Space Jam 2, and the new trademarks don't say anything other than the fact that Space Jam is the property of Warner Brothers, but I digress. There wasn't much news about the movie until May 2016, when it was officially announced that LeBron James would be starring in Space Jam 2, and also it was announced that the director would be Justin Lin, and that supposedly screenwriter Andrew Dodge was working on a script. So all's well and good, right? Production can finally continue properly. Well, a little under 2 years after that last announcement, Justin Lin decided to drop out of the project in early 2018. His reasoning was partially due to delays with LeBron's basketball career. So Lin's out, and it wouldn't be until August where we meet our new director, Terrence Nance, which brings us to September 19th, 2018. Alright, let's break this thing down. From left to right, we've got Bugs Bunny, obviously. LeBron James, our new director, Terrence Nance, and R. Coogler? Wait, like Ryan Coogler, the director of Black Panther and Creed? Hold on. Yeah, that's Ryan Coogler. He's producing the movie. Cool, I guess. So now we have our lead basketball man, a director, a producer, and various other crew members, and on February 21st, 2019, the official release date for the movie was announced. Space Jam 2 will be coming out on July 16th, 2021. Quite a ways away, but Rome wasn't built in a day. It was also said that filming would begin summer 2019. So here's when news starts to become more consistent. In March, it was announced that Star Trek Discovery actress Sonequa Martin Green would be joining the cast as LeBron James' fictional wife. In June, it was reported that a bunch of basketball players from various teams were cast, including, but not limited to, Anthony Davis, Damian Lillard, Klay Thompson, Chris Paul, and Diana Taurasi. So there's that. On July 11th, Don Cheadle was cast in an unknown role. Good for him, honestly. This is the only thing to do when you're fresh off the highest-grossing movie of all time. So this next piece of news is a little unfortunate. On July 16th, Malcolm D. Lee would be replacing Terrence Nance as director. As cliche as it is to say, Nance left the project due to creative differences. Nance is mostly known for making small-scale indie art house films. Now I know that Space Jam is absolutely art house, but as they say, it just be like that sometimes. Malcolm D. Lee might be a good fit to direct this, I don't know. If you're a fan of Undercover Brother, you'll probably like Space Jam 2. Finally, our last piece of news for this episode comes from LeBron James himself. On July 23rd, he posted a video to Twitter of him on the set enjoying his favorite holiday,
Taco Tuesdays!
It's brief, but if you watch the video, we can get a small look at the new Toon Squad jersey. It's a light blue with a dark blue trim and a salmon color in the middle of the trim. It's a little hidden, but it looks nice. And that brings us to today. I got no more news to share, so this episode is over. The next episode will come out once we get a good chunk of news. It'll also probably be shorter. That's all, folks. And don't forget...
You wanna win or not? Stop it. Get some help.
These aliens are killing us. We need some help.
Right away, Your Airness. McDonald's! Behold.
Now only at McDonald's. Collect these fun Looney Tunes stuffed characters from the new movie Space Jam. Just $2.99 each with the purchase of a new deluxe or any other large sandwich.
Way to go, Dandy.
How about we go out and kick some alien butt?
Space Jam at McDonald's. Come hungry. Leave stuffed.